Hi, my name is Peter O'Rourke, or also known as Kazuki. Oh wow, okay, that's I guess a bit of a massive question. My dad used to play, Pink Floyd and Tangerine Dream and things like that. Especially when James moved to Melbourne to pursue music there, I wanted something to kind of connect with what we were doing and meet other artists and put out music that we believed in. So yeah, it's like deep progressive kind of prog and techno house, that sort of thing. There's always a bit of a psychedelic element to the music I make.
What is progressive?
Yeah, what is prog? That's the eternal question.
And forgot the question.
He's playing after me, so we're going to go back to back for a little bit and then kind of cross over to him playing. So
is it tough work running a label?
So it was. It felt like something out of that you'd see in Melbourne or Europe somewhere. So you've got this really gritty sort of laneway. Started making music on the computer.
So prog is like some sort of like a creature that that transcends through genres and just infects everything, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Hello everybody from Talisman Birthday Bash gathering, and as always we're interviewing people, artists. Brother, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Peter O'Rourke, or also known as Kazuki.
And tell me, how did your music journey begin?
Oh wow, okay, that's I guess a bit of a massive question. I've always been into music. I started, learning keyboard when I was sort of 8 years old, that sort of thing. But got into dance music when I was about 12, 13. My mum actually used to buy some of the old Wild FM CDs, which were, like a clubbing album that came out then. She didn't go clubbing or anything, but we're exposed to dance music and electronic music. And, my dad used to play, Pink Floyd and Tangerine Dream and things like that. So yeah, always had that music background and started making music on the computer to make my own dance music sort of when I was, 16, 17. And then in 2010 started DJing. Started working with like a bit of a DJ crew and started putting on events after that, and yeah, just got more into production, and now it is where it is today.
And so you are. So when did your DJing journey start? Then when did you start DJing?
Yeah, so that was 2010. There was a so James Beetham, who I now run a record label with. He used to be the music manager at Lot 33, which is a club in Kingston. And on Thursday night, he used to do a night called, it was just like an open decks night. And yeah, where I kind of met him and some other guys and learned how to spin tunes. I just kind of went along because my partner Laura, she was away traveling, so I needed something to do. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to give this a go.
Oh, that's cool. You mentioned the record label. What's the name of it?
That is Late Night Music.
And as I understand it, it is a relatively recent, relatively new label, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of about 2 or 3 years or so, and it came out of a club night we used to do called Department of Late Nights. Had got that Canberra connection department of. But yeah, so, and we've just, for the record label, especially when James moved to Melbourne to pursue music there, I wanted something to kind of connect with what we were doing and meet other artists and put out music that we believed in. So yeah, it's like deep progressive kind of prog and techno house, that sort of thing.
Cool. And so it's just you and James, two of you?
Yeah, just the two of us who run the label, but we've got artists who are local in Australia and international as well. So Alex Brackney's fourth state. He's I suppose like our unofficial third guy. He does a lot of music with us, and we're always sending music to each other to say, oh yeah, you could adjust this here or change that up, just to kind of get it sounding 100%.
Alex fourth state. He's playing at this party as well, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's playing after me. So we're going to go back to back for a little bit and then kind of cross over to him playing. So.
So what time is your set?
I'm on at 7:30.
Cool. Looking forward to that. We need this sort of music, progressive house for this time of the day.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I love that it's getting a place, because outdoors it does have those intricate melodies and everything, and it sounds good on an outdoor system where the music can breathe, that sort of thing. So.
And so for the label, what's your role in the label, and what's James's? Is there like a particular division like here? Oh yeah, please.
There's not a massive division. We both kind of connect with artists, look after the advertising, that sort of thing. Getting things up for distribution so it can actually can buy it on Beatport and whatever. James is he has a sound engineer as well, so he kind of looks after that sort of side. And I guess he's got some of those connections in Melbourne, which is quite cool. So he kind of sees different people, but I'll see people in Canberra and Sydney. So having it split across two cities is actually pretty cool as well.
So how if there were upcoming producers, how would they get in touch with you, or how would they send their demos to you, or what's the process?
Yeah, we've got an email. You can send it demos@latenightmusic.com. Between late night and music, there's like a dash, so late-night-music. Or hit us up on our Facebook page as well. Yeah, always happy to hear demos. Have a listen to the music that we have on the label, so it suits, and tell us a bit about where you are as a producer and that sort of thing. We like to sort of get to know the people we sort of sign. So yeah.
Is it tough work running a label?
It's pretty busy. So it's just kind of consistent, because you're always kind of thinking, well, you've got this release coming up in this time, but then you've probably got one further down the track as well. So you've got to kind of line everything up and plan and sort of and have like a bit of an idea of what's happening over the year. So, but in terms of doing it, it's fun. But some of the financial stuff, that's always a bit tedious. So.
Forgot the question, but in terms of the label, where are you sort of hoping to take it next 5 years?
I mean, ultimately, we'd actually love to be able to do an international tour with some Australian artists, or get some international artists who are overseas and bring them to Australia, do a bit of a late night music tour here. I think that would be cool. Just kind of, it's fun to connect with an international audience, so it's not just in Australia, because there's different sounds coming out, but then they can also hear the cool stuff that the local guys are doing as well, and kind of build those networks.
Absolutely. The question came back to me. I was going to ask, have there been any VAs on the label yet?
Not yet, but if you keep your eyes peeled for a few months into 2022, well, I won't say any more, but...
Awesome. In terms of your own production, do you think you have evolved in terms of the change in the music genre that you produce, or is it sort of the same progressive house, as I understand, is what your main genre?
It's changed. So in the beginning, when I started producing, I was making all kinds of things, but particularly psytrance. So I was playing a lot of psy parties, and then as I've moved sort of more into progressive house and techno, I've kind of taken on those things. So there's always a bit of a psychedelic element to the music I make, and I reckon you can kind of still trace like a consistent sound for some of the sounds I like to use across the last 10 years kind of thing. So I think the sound hasn't been like a harsh cut and something completely different. It's just evolved as I've learnt more and got into other kinds of music.
So you said there are some psychedelic sounds in your music. So does progressive basically synonym with psychedelic? Is it? Or what is progressive?
Yeah, what is prog? That's the eternal question. I think progressive music is about having something that's got a bit of lush depth to it, and it's not so much about like a hard drop. It's about kind of the sound evolving over a track, and in fact like a DJ set, so that it progresses through stuff. But it's got that kind of, I guess it's got like a richness. But I guess a psychedelic sound in terms of psytrance is a very certain squelchy kind of thing. But also in some of the effects they use, the way things are like delayed and echoed, you can apply that to prog music, but give it a more organic sort of sound. So that's what I like about prog. You can take it tribal, you can take it very percussive kind of stuff, you can take it sort of minimal and dark and deep, or you can take it fluffy and melodic. It's all there.
So prog is like some sort of like a creature that that transcends through genres and just infects everything, isn't it?
Absolutely. I guess it's like, if you want to compare something different, think about something like disco, which is very upfront and very much what you're getting. Like prog's like kind of the opposite of that. So, but house music can be disco-y or it can be proggy. Like it works.
How has COVID affected you as an artist, and I'm more interested in the label. Have there been more sort of, because I'm assuming people were in lockdown, more hopefully getting more creative, and have there been more sort of submissions to your label from different artists? Have you noticed that on?
Yeah, I think so. We've really it's just the last sort of year and a half that we've really come into our own, I think. But COVID was interesting because obviously there's a lot less gigs and all that sort of stuff, but it did mean that people could settle into the studio and you actually have space to breathe as a label and say, well, because people aren't thinking about, oh yeah, I'm going to this festival or that festival, but they're still looking for music, so they go, oh well, this label's doing something, that's actually kind of cool. So and then so you can you're not fighting as much noise, so it was actually like a good time for us and other producers and other labels, because you can just be like, well, here's the stuff that's happening. So
well, that's cool. In terms of you, what's coming up? And I know that you just finishing, or have you finished your new studio, building your new studio?
Yeah, so that's almost finished. I was just finishing off the plastering work this week. So I built a studio in the garage, fully soundproof and insulated against the weather. But yeah, so I should be able to paint that in a couple of weeks. But I've got a deadline of Christmas, because that's when my wife's mum's coming to stay for Christmas, so I have to get all the stuff out of the office so she can have that room, so I can get everything into the studio. So, but yeah, no, that'll be fun when that's completed. And then just working on music over the summer and stuff, I guess. So
awesome. Are you playing at? I saw your names at some. Well, the recent one you played at was the Fantasy Lane party. How was that?
Yeah, that was really cool. So it was. It felt like something out of that you'd see in Melbourne or Europe somewhere. So you've got this really gritty sort of laneway with some house and techno and stuff. And yeah, it was heaps of fun. So yeah, I'd be looking. I reckon you could do a great nighttime party there with like proper full-on techno. It'd be fun. But for the rest of summer, doing family stuff in the near future. But then later in the summer, we'll see what happens. But I've actually got baby number 2 on the way, so that's going to keep me busy.
Definitely. Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And how are you enjoying? Maybe that should have been the question that I should have started with. How are you enjoying the party so far?
Here, it's been good. So we only arrived this morning and have set up now and had some beers and had some lunch, and yeah, the music so far has been really lush. So how about you? Have you been enjoying it?
Yes. I've been enjoying it a lot. Nice location. I mean, it's a small party, a nice kind of small community vibe.
Yeah, and I mean, like if you look around, there's like all these hills, and I think it's fairly secluded from the weather. Like it's obviously hot and sunny, but it's a very lush landscape. I quite like it, and they're lucky to have this site. So
yeah, and the backdrop for our interview is bloody awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, shout out to the Renegade Fire Crew. So that's Sam Wise, who DJs with Tidy and Sam. So yep, it's his baby, this one. So
yes, shout out to Renegade Fire Service.
That's it.
Well, thank you, bro, for talking to me. Very interesting. I wish you as an artist and as a DJ all success, and for your label as well. Get more prog out there in the world, man.
We will. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.